Hey everyone, how's it going? For today's video, let's take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the 2015 Audi S8. So this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the S8. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip of the performance data, take it on a quick test drive, and show you a bunch of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. Before we begin, as a courtesy, I'd like to extend a big thanks and special shout out to AutoNation and their Audi Plano store located just outside of Dallas in Plano, Texas, for providing us with the S8 featured in today's in-depth review. For more information on their dealership, which at the time of this video is under expansion, and current inventory, you can check out their website provided in the description box below. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up. Let her run. Like the rest of the modern day Audi lineup, the S8 also features a standard remote access smart key system so you can lock and unlock the vehicle utilizing the touch sensors on all four door handles. In order to lock, all you have to do, just tap the little depressed portion in each handle. One beep indicates locking, then after waiting a second, go ahead and grab the handle. There's a touch sensor located behind that automatically unlocks the vehicle. The vehicle also features soft closing doors, with an electromechanical mechanism built in to automatically pull it back to the frame if you fail to close it all the way. This exterior color is known as Oolong Gray Metallic, featuring an all-black, premium perforated diamond quilted leather interior with plenty of Alcantara accenting, carbon fiber, and brushed aluminum. To start the vehicle, along with the smart key system, the S8 also features remote push-button ignition via the silver and red accent button in the center console. Just put your foot on the brake and hold down the button to go. The 2015 S8 features an electro-hydraulic, speed-proportional, rack and pinion dynamic steering system that adjusts the steering ratio and boost based on the speed that you're traveling, increasing precision at higher speeds while relaxing for more comfort at lower speeds. It's all routed through an S-specific 3-spoke leather-wrapped multifunction steering wheel with white double stitching, grippy design, and leather-wrapped airbag cover with subtle touches of satin brightwork and high-gloss black trim, finished off with the S8 logo in the bottom spoke. Like the rest of the A8 lineup, the S8 receives a ZF-sourced 8-speed shift-by-wire automatic, routed through a carbon fiber finished gear selector. The same gearbox was also used in the RS7 for its durability and high horsepower applications. There's no launch control with the traditional torque converter design, but with all-wheel drive and over 500 horsepower, I can't imagine it would be a very necessary feature in this class of car. Once in drive, you can activate the transmission's sport mode, which then raises the shift points, keeping the car more within its power band. For an extra dose of sport though, you can also shift it manually via the steering wheel mounted aluminum paddle shifters. While it may not shift quite as quick as a dual clutch unit, the 8-speed still performs well with commanding authority, accompanied by rev matching downshifts. Once you put the vehicle in reverse, a backup camera automatically appears in your high-res 8-inch LCD display with adjustable guidance lines that automatically rotate with the steering wheel. Another nice new feature is the 360-degree camera system, so this camera is located all around the vehicle to give top views, corner views, front and back, and not to mention proximity indications paired with the vehicle's parking sensors both front and rear. Other manufacturers also offer similar systems nowadays, but it definitely makes parking such a large car a whole lot easier. You can also adjust the various settings between the volume and more. To place the vehicle in park, just hit the unlock indicator and push the selector forward. Beautiful attention to detail with high-gloss carbon fiber and satin aluminum trim amongst a high-gloss black piano veneer housing.
And so, we're going to flip on the automatic adaptive LED headlamps, rear fog lamps, and the hazards. The place I'm at just recently put tint on these windows, so I'm not going to put them down, but all 4 windows are fully automatic as standard. So let's go ahead and check out the exterior.
After a 4-year hiatus, the recently redesigned 3rd generation Audi S8 is only a couple of years old now after it launched for the 2013 model year. It boasts a smaller, more powerful engine, heightened driver dynamics, and improved economy over the previous offering. Continuing for 2015, the S8 received several exterior updates including a more aggressive hood and wider trunk lid, along with more defined front and rear fascias. The lighting also gets tweaked, with a more angular LEDs out back divided by a new strip of chrome that extends across the deck lid. The biggest change to the front profile are the new standard LED headlamps, now more squared off than the previous wave design, and they look really amazing in person. With this, there's the option of Audi's new Matrix LED lighting system. Unfortunately, it's not available in North America at the moment due to government regulations that favor separate low and high beam functions. The adaptive matrix design contains 25 LEDs each and are continuously controlled by an intelligent cornering light system, giving it the ability to constantly adjust illumination intensity and direction based on steering, GPS signals, or cars approaching you. When the latest S8 debuted, the most significant advantage was the addition of an all-new powertrain and substantial increase in power, not to mention the new 8-speed automatic gearbox that contains 2 overdrive gears for improved economy over the previous 6-speed automatic. Replacing the Lamborghini-derived 450 horsepower 5.2-liter V10 was Audi's new 520 horsepower 4-liter twin-turbo V8. Peak torque for the V8 is 481 pound-feet, a substantial increase when compared to the V10's 398 pound-feet. How does that translate, you ask? By shaving about 1.5 seconds off the 0 to 60 time, now tested to be as low as 3.5 seconds. We'll talk a little bit more about performance in just a bit. The S8 delivers power to all 4 wheels through Quattro all-wheel drive, featuring a standard torque split of 40 and 60% between the front and rear axles respectively. In slippery scenarios, the system can send up to 70% of the available torque to the front axle, or when accelerating, can send up to 85% to the rear. Its torsion-style center differential features a high locking rate with separate oil cooler for better temperature regulation, in addition to a brake-based torque vectoring system that places light pressure on the inside rear wheel and hard cornering to enhance overall turn-in. Torque vectoring works through the S8's Sport Rear Differential, which contains an electro-hydraulic multi-plate clutch pack and gear set that effectively increases the outside rear cornering wheel speed by as much as 10%. The stability control system can also be operated in both regular and sport modes or turned off completely. Power wasn't the only thing that changed though. The new S8 is also more economical than before. The V8 carries a standard cylinder on demand system to save fuel while cruising. It deactivates cylinders number 2, 3, 5, and 8 while cruising, allowing the car to run on 4 cylinders when full performance isn't needed, improving fuel economy up to 23% compared to the V10 S8. The system works until revs climb past 3,600 RPM or your speed exceeds 112 miles an hour. To eliminate noise and vibrations when switching to or traveling under 4 power, the S8 uses active engine mounts that deliver contrasting feedback that's 180 degrees out of phase with the engine's natural frequency. There's even a fiber optic based noise cancelling feature that emits passive frequencies through the audio system to counteract exterior road noise to maintain a smooth and serene cabin. Like the A8, the S8 is relatively conservative in its styling. Available only in the short wheelbase counterpart, it takes a keen eye to spot the differences within the handsome sculpted bodywork. Outside, it receives aluminum mirror caps, quad exhaust out back, and S8 badging with an Audi's signature single-frame front grille that's finished in platinum gray with 8 horizontal chrome double bars. The lower intakes up front are larger with chrome detailing, while the lower air splitter also carries a strip of brightwork. One of the S8's biggest advantages in its class is its comparatively low curb weight, beginning around 4,400 pounds thanks to Audi's aluminum space frame construction. The body itself weighs just 509 pounds, with every panel being formed from aluminum aside from the ultra-high strength B-pillars. This saves an impressive 220 pounds or so from a conventional steel body. The chassis also utilizes a high degree of aluminum, from the aluminum castings that support the high-stress areas to extruded aluminum sections and sheet aluminum that make it the rest of the main structure and components. The S8 comes standard with 20 by 9 inch wheels to help fit the massive brakes, while larger 21 by 9.5 inch options like we have here are also available. With the larger wheels, the all-season tires get replaced with Dunlop SP Sport Max GT summer tires with a larger 275/35 contact patch. They're tested to hold up to 0.9 G in lateral cornering forces. The brakes consist of internally ventilated 15.8 inch discs with 6 piston calipers in front and vented 14 inch discs with single piston calipers in the rear. Stopping distances from 60 miles an hour are around 107 feet. The S8 employs an independent multi-link suspension both front and rear with pneumatic springs and stabilizer bars, not to mention felt liners underneath the chassis to help dampen road noise. While the shocks and springs are stiffer than the A8, the overall design remains the same, except for the S8's 0.4 inch or 10mm drop in overall ride height. Overall length is 202.2 inches with a width of 76.7 inches and a height of 57.5 inches right on a 117.8 inch wheelbase. Total curb weight, depending on how equipped, is around 4,400 to 4,600 pounds. The S8 is powered by an all-aluminum, twin-turbocharged 4-liter V8 that packs direct injection, double overhead cams, and 4 valves per cylinder to yield a compression ratio of 9.3 to 1. Audi's compact engine design also allows for a lower center of gravity. It integrates the twin-scroll turbos and intercooler within the V, between the cylinder banks covered by a heat shield. Since air doesn't have to travel far, throttle response is greatly improved. With maximum turbo boost of 15.9 psi, it pumps out 520 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and 481 pound-feet of torque between 1,700 and 5,500 RPM. This translates to 0 to 60 times tested under the factory rating of 3.9 seconds, while passing the quarter mile in 11.8 seconds at 118 miles an hour. Top speed is limited to 155 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy, with a 23.8 gallon tank and required premium gas, EPA estimates for the S8 range between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 26 on the highway. The S8 surrounds occupants with a very well-appointed interior, benefiting from top-notch build quality and a wealth of tech and safety features, not to mention a nice list of standard features like leather and a premium audio system. Everything you see for the most part is wrapped in double-stitched leather with Alcantara portions across the door that complement the headliner, not to mention plenty of brushed and satin aluminum trim found across the doors, dash, and many of the switchgear. The doors themselves are completely padded with brushed aluminum that wraps into the dash, not to mention the Atlas high-gloss carbon fiber trim. Your armrest flips up to carry a little bit of storage, you have a bigger storage pocket down below, and your power trunk release. Power folding mirrors are standard, your memory located up top, and the rest of your power accessories. The seats in the S8 are the 22-way multi-contour sport comfort seats that offer a nice blend between sport with lateral bolstering and plenty of padding down below. You have simple controls located down below, including 4-way power lumbar adjustment, but you have things like side bolstering adjustment, thigh extension, and more, and that's all controlled through the Audi MMI system. Adjustable headrests allow you to surround your neck in complete comfort. The diamond quilted pattern on the seats add a beautiful tailored look, while the perforations keep everything nice and flowing for the heated and ventilated functions. LED illuminated S8 aluminum door sill plaques, aluminum sport pedals, and a power tilt telescoping steering wheel. The dash is entirely wrapped out of leather up top and down below with standard knee airbags, the carbon fiber and aluminum decorative inlays coming across, and more unique bits to the S8, including the gauges, the clock, the steering wheel, and more, all finished off with an all-black headliner with sunroof and LED accent lighting.
So let's go ahead and see if she sounds. There is a rev limiter in park and neutral around 4,000 RPM. So let's go ahead and shut her up.
The standard audio system for the S8 includes a 14-speaker 630-watt Bose surround sound system like we have here, but also optional is a premium 19-speaker 1400-watt Bang & Olufsen advanced surround sound with adjustable tweeters that automatically rise out of the dash for top-notch quality. All media and entertainment is routed through Audi's updated MMI infotainment system that incorporates LTE-based internet connectivity and a high-res 8-inch display with Google Maps. It's all routed through a controller stack in the center console with a rotating wheel, 4 quadrant buttons for various corner menus, a touchpad off to the left, and various shortcut keys to the middle and off to the far right. I've already covered this system a little bit more in depth in some previous reviews of the new S3 that has a slightly more updated version and the latest RS7, so check the link in the description box below or in the annotation below to check out a little bit more of a further look at the new MMI system.
The Alcantara flows down the A-pillars. Your hands-free Bluetooth microphone located on either side is accented in some bright work. Grip handles, and Alcantara visors, with LED illuminated vanity mirrors. Your rear view mirror is auto-dimming with a compass in the top right-hand portion. The top stack is highlighted by a single LED light ring. You have 2 LED reading lamps to either side, 3-position garage home link, and the controls for your fully automatic sunroof. You also have a little bit of red ambient illumination and a padded sunglass container. As we continue down the center stack, in the middle you have an LED lit elegant analog clock to either side that raises and lowers the screen on demand. Behind a nice clean faceplate, traction control, hazards, turning your parking sensor off, and raising and lowering the rear sunshade. There's 2 on each rear door as well, but those are manual, and I'll show those when we get to the back seat. The attention to detail really is phenomenal with the carbon fiber and brushed aluminum trim, even the stitched padding up top. The buttons across the middle are also brushed aluminum. Behind the hidden faceplate, you have your CD drive, 2 SD card inputs, and the SIM card for the vehicle's Wi-Fi capabilities. As we continue down the center console, this S8 features a standard quad-zone electronic automatic climate control system with independent temperature adjustments for all 4 passengers. You have 3-stage heated and ventilated seats up front and rear defrost of course, 1-touch automatic for both sides, and to control the temperature, zones, and fan speed you have to first select the one that you want, and then use the little dial. Same thing goes for temperature, you would just push down on the button, twist it back and forth, and different zones. All of that also shows up within the MMI screen, so you can easily see it while you're driving. Continuing all back, all of the controls for the MMI system like we talked about earlier. 2 adjustable cup holders and a 12-volt power outlet. The split center console is all wrapped in leather and can be raised up for more comfort. But to access the storage, you just simply lift up on it. It's a modest amount of space, with your music interface for your iPod integration. As far as the steering wheel, on the left-hand side it controls your driver information system that shows up in the TFT liquid crystal display in between the speedometer cluster. The right-hand side houses your navigation, radio commands, pulling up the memory recall for the Audi Drive Select system, and repeating navigation commands. Automatic rain-sensing windshield wipers to the right, your cruise control and adaptive cruise settings, games, parking lights, turn signals, and activation of your lane departure warning system. As far as the driver information system, these two main buttons up here correspond to the main functions: vehicle alerts, your diagnostics system, media, telephone, and navigation. You can then use the wheel to go between different features like your trip computer and fuel data, and press that to go between the different submenus within each respective category. There's also a heads-up display that beams your speed up onto the windshield. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and shut her down. And we'll check out the back seat.
Like I briefly touched on up front, the interior build quality is absolutely superb. And just like you would expect out of a large German luxury super sedan, along with that power there's a plentiful amount of comfort, especially for rear seat occupants. In the back, you also have the same unique accents that you find in the front, including the high-gloss carbon fiber and curved brushed aluminum trim, the Alcantara detailing across the middle portion of the door, and stitched leather accents. Within the B-pillar, you have vents for extra ventilation and a small speaker. On each door you have an extra set of switches that allow you to control the windows and sunshades from the opposite side of the vehicle. Being that the S8 rides on the short wheelbase chassis only, it obviously doesn't have some of the super luxury options in the back seat like the executive package, but that doesn't mean that it's not supremely comfortable with a nice amount of features back there. The diamond quilted pattern continues with the perforated leather keeping everything nice and ventilated. The headrest can also curve around you, and you have a center console that's decked out in leather and carbon fiber with some climate controls and 3-stage heated seats for both sides. In total, the S8 can seat upward of 5 people.
Hopping on in isn't too difficult. Like I said, bigger car, a little bit of extra room. This obviously isn't the long wheelbase. If it was, you'd have a noticeable increase in legroom. The soft closing doors in the back as well. The back seat really is quite comfortable. There's a nice amount of padding down below and up top. It's a little on the firmer side, but it's still quite soft. There's a lot of give to it. Good side bolstering up top and down below for better lateral grip, and the perforations also give a nice feel to it. Overall interior room for a comfortable seating position for myself up front, I probably have about, let's say maybe 3.5, 4 inches of headspace depending on where you put it, and about 2 inches or so of leg space. There is a cutout portion in the back of the seat here that gives you a little bit more wiggle room, and there's an extra cutout portion up top here because when the sunroof goes back, it basically takes up that much of the headliner, so this part sits down, this part kicks up, so you have a lot more wiggle room back here. You also have 2 extra Bluetooth microphones in the top of the headliner, similar with the polished ring that you saw in the front. That way all 4 passengers can be heard equally. In the B-pillar, you do have extra air registers keeping everything nice and ventilated, in addition to the one down below here. 2 coat hooks, 2 more up top here, with grip handles, the LED reading lamps, and the track lighting that goes across the Alcantara headliner. In the middle here, you have a full padded armrest, with plenty of high-gloss carbon fiber detailing, good storage down below, and the controls for the quad-zone climate control. So you have temperature on either side, fan speed, one-touch automatic for both sides, and 3-stage heated seats for each of the outside occupants. You can sit a middle person in here, and it wouldn't be too bad. You'd have to spread your legs quite a bit unless you were sitting someone small like a child, so it's probably not the best seating position for longer travels. You have a fixed headrest right here built into the middle console. Child seat anchors located in the back Alcantara parcel shelf, and if you need to gain access to the back, like to stick a set of skis or something like that, there's a ski pass-through here that you could just fold down and flip back up when not in use. So let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle, shall we?
The trunk on this S8 is fully powered. Simply hold down the button on the key fob to open it. Once inside, you'll find around 13.2 cubic feet of cargo space, which isn't huge, but some improvements to the opening definitely allow for much easier entry of cargo. You also have some extra storage pockets, the trunk pass-through, and your temporary spare tire located underneath the floor.
The passenger seat also features two-person memory, and all of the same power adjustments that you find on the driver's seat. You do have a locking glove box, lined in felt, a modest amount of space overall with a little cubby pocket up top and activation of the vehicle's valet mode. There's also a little vent back there that you can open up that'll siphon through some air conditioning if you want to keep some items chilled.
With a fantastic combination of power and prominence, the Audi S8 brings a heightened level of sport to the brand's flagship luxury sedan. Its understated yet refined styling is perhaps its greatest asset, making it one heck of a sleeper to the untrained eye.
Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2015 Audi S8. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.